One of the things that we found was that project managers have a famous saying, I'd rather be looking at inventory than looking for it. And so what that drives them to do is to order everything ahead of time, which has its own set of problems. How do you manage inventory, which includes equipment, when you're managing a project?
All right. So typically in your brownfields projects, you will form basically a sort of, it's associated to routine maintenance. So in your brownfields projects, you will have a typical expectation, or you basically have a typical predictability of the types of equipment that you'll be using. And there from experience, how you work in terms of your lead times and how long you can take to get whatever you need for your project. Right. So in that sense, it's a bit easy. But when it comes to greenfields projects, it's a bit challenging. But you find that within the greenfields space, for instance, we work on electrical installations where we might do an entire substation from the ground up. So within the substation, you have equipment that you might also use in a brownfields project. So you have a bit of a gauge. Then you have a mix of new equipment because sometimes with the greenfields projects, you have entirely new technology that you are installing. And then there you need to really look at tracking your lead times. You need to be very good with your communication with your procurement team. You have to monitor your delivery schedule. You have to have resources available that can tackle all the logistics issues when they arise. And coordinating with the supplier, sometimes, like you were saying, going physically to the supplier and having conversations with them, making them understand your needs and the urgency of what you do. Because sometimes doing things over the phone or over email is not as effective as when you go there. So sometimes you find that they can pull strings for you to make things happen quicker in terms of making sure your inventory is sorted. So there are some instances where your inventory can be, everything can be ready for you. You can store your equipment, sign it in and have it ready for construction. But there are certain instances like, for instance, with concrete. In the previous project that I did, I had to order concrete because the site was, I can say, a remote site. So I had to order concrete from, another town, and it's about an hour drive for the trucks. So in that instance, you're working in real time, you're working with complex logistics. So if the weather also comes into play and it starts raining, or even when you go to sub temperatures, then it also becomes a bit of a challenge to pour your concrete or to cast your concrete because there are certain temperatures at which you cannot cast concrete when the temperatures are too low. So yeah, so in terms of inventory, there are those that you can get readily available, those that you can, pull strings to get quickly to your sites, those that you can store on sites, and then there are those ones that you have to, it works in real time. You have to order on the day, but you also sequence your planning. You look at the weather forecast, you look at how the temperatures will be, you look at the seasons in which you work, because in some areas that it's a rainy season, you can expect up to 3 weeks of rain continuously, and then you have to schedule your activities that will be affected by the inventory in such a way that it aligns with your climate and so on.